Hey everyone, so we're gonna make some pie slice or cake slice cake pops today. And I'm gonna do something I've never done before, and I'm gonna try to do a class on it. So we're gonna start out with our cake slice cake pop mold. This is from My Little Cake Pop, and you can get it from Berry Couture Sprinkle Shop. Love her. We're gonna need a pair of gloves, some good nice melted chocolate. This is ready to go. A stand for the cake pop, our cake pop dough, and of course some sticks. So go ahead and put our gloves on. I got too many there, that's okay. This is sugar cookie dough that I made yesterday, and it is nice and ready to go. I made some extra cake pops for a flash sale this weekend. Haven't sold any yet, unfortunately, so I'm hoping that changes tomorrow when I post the cake pops again at a discounted price. So we will see. But this is how I keep my cake pop dough. If I'm going to use it like in the next 24 hours, I just wrap it in plastic wrap and keep it on the counter. If it's going to be longer than a day, I store it in the fridge. Alright, so this is really good texture and consistency. You want it like a Play-Doh consistency. And I don't weigh my cake pop dough. What I do is I'll grab it like this, so about what fits in my palm, and kind of on my fingers like that. And as I squeeze it back and forth in between my hands, I pinch it like this, so with my thumb right here. And if there's any extra dough, I remove it with my thumb like that. And whatever's left, that's how much I use for my cake pop. And it makes a perfect size every time. So we don't really have to make like a perfect ball since we're using the mold. So let's just, oh, I didn't get any wax paper. We will need some wax paper. So actually we can just use the plastic wrap. That's a good idea, because I don't want to use any extra supplies if I don't need to. So you want to kind of shape it a little bit. It doesn't have to be a ball though. And then I like to open the pie slice mold just a little bit and kind of just put it right there in the middle like that. Close it. And then you're going to remove the excess from the bottom. Sometimes there's some on the top. There's not any on the top or on the side this time. But you would just remove from the bottom and the side. And then on the top, I make sure to kind of press it down a little bit just to make sure there's enough dough in there like that. So that's what we're ending up working with. And then we're going to just open it up and pop it out. My dough is pretty soft. My dishwasher has been on, so it's kind of soft. So we're just going to kind of shape it by hand to make it look really pretty, like a cake slice. And I think it looks pretty good like that. So let's put our stick in. First we are going to insert in our chocolate just a little bit, and I'm going to put it in the bottom. Don't push it all the way through. And we're going to let that dry just for a couple minutes before we dip. If you've watched my videos, you know my tip about using a metal whisk for melted chocolate. If you've never watched my videos and you've never used a metal whisk for your melted chocolate, give it a try. It's seriously a game changer. It breaks up all those little chunks so that you don't have to heat it up too long and risk burning your chocolate. So definitely give that a try. I actually need to take this out so that I can dip the cake pop here in a minute. Now, I don't refrigerate at any point during the process. I know some cake poppers might put their cake pops in the fridge, like before dipping. I never do that, and I never have any issues. The problem with doing that, in my experience, is that it can cause cracks because of the temperature difference. So it's just something I never do, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's something I never do and something I never need to do. So the chocolate isn't all the way dry, as you can tell. It's still pretty wet, but I'm gonna go ahead and dip this cake pop. So we're gonna go straight in, and then I like to tap off the excess by hand. So we're just gonna tap, tap, tap. Alright, that looks pretty good. Oh no, there's a lot of excess chocolate there. Trying to stay out of the video for you guys. Alright, so that looks pretty good, I think. No, there's still excess chocolate. Let's get that back off. Alright, so let's dry this first little cake slice. Looks pretty good. So we're gonna dry that. It'll probably take at least 5 minutes, maybe 10, because my kitchen is pretty warm. So I'm gonna let that dry and we'll come back. Alright, so we're back, and I ended up making a second one, which you can see looks a lot cuter. This one, it's so hot in my kitchen. This one started to lean and the stick started to come through the top. So this one will go to my kids, which I'm sure they will be excited about. But this one looks really good. Nice, nice clean lines, and it looks like a really pretty cake slice or even pie slice. So let's decorate it. Now you can use any colors, any sprinkles, you know, anything you want. I'm going to show you how I like to decorate the cake slices. I like to use a cake pop stick, and I take my melted chocolate, a good like heaping amount, and I just rub it on the side. This is going to give you that texture. Need a little bit more. That kind of is going to make it look like cake. So I just kind of splash it on there. And then as it dries, it's going to look kind of like that cake texture, like you cut into a slice of cake. And you'll see that in just a minute. So just keep going up and down with your cake pop stick as the chocolate dries, and you'll start to see the textured pattern develop in just a few seconds as the chocolate dries. And it's probably going to be hard to see in the camera, but definitely a textured pattern. Alright, let's do it on the other side here. Just lots of melted chocolate. I mean, not a whole lot, but you don't want it to be dripping off or anything like that, but enough that you can like dab it up and down and back and forth and such like that. So up and down, making our nice little swatches. I need a little bit more over here. And you can even use your finger if you don't want to waste a cake pop stick, because I watch my supply costs as well, and your finger does the job just as well. So you could even do that instead of using a stick. You would do the same thing, just keep, I'll show you, just keep splotching it up and down You're gonna get more of a splotchy effect if you use your finger because it's wider than a cake pop stick. So see how that like splotchy effect is a little bit thicker compared to this side? It's the same kind of effect, it's just looks a little bit different. I think they both look really good. All right, so that really, I don't know if you can tell with the lighting, but I think looks really nice. Okay, I really like that. So now I'm gonna put, and again, you can use any colors. I'm just gonna do a white, you know what, I kinda like the look of the finger splotches on the other side, so I'm gonna do it to this side too, so they match. And it is totally okay to change your mind in the middle of decorating. I mean, as long as your customer is okay with it, I guess. But these are for a flash sale tomorrow, so I can do whatever I want. And again, we're just gonna keep going up and down, making our splotchy marks as the chocolate dries to make it look like a real slice of cake. It's starting to look really nice. I love it. So now I'm just going to, this is pretty much dry, so I'm going to put just some white chocolate, just like a white chocolate drizzle line here and here, and then white chocolate drizzle on top with some sprinkles, just to make it look super cute. And again, the decorating is the fun part. You can do it, you can decorate it however you like. So, all right, let's put this guy down, and I'm gonna grab my white chocolate and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I have my white chocolate drizzle and some sprinkles. So, first, let's do, is that the side? Yeah. This is like to mimic buttercream filling. Okay, that's a little crazy of a line. Try to make it as straight as you can. And if it's not, that's okay. Go back over it and then just shake it a little bit to make it kind of straighter. And you can even tap it on the counter. That looks pretty good. All right, and let's do this side. Nice thick buttercream filling on this cake slice. Oh, actually I'll fix that in a little bit with a toothpick and I'll show you how I do that. Toothpicks are my favorite secret decorating tool. All right, that looks pretty good. So let's do the top. Make sure my white chocolate is still really good and melty, and it is. I'm gonna do a little drizzle, not too much, just a little bit. And then just spread this all on top. My white chocolate wasn't as melted as I would have liked. I swear when my kitchen gets warm, it messes up everything that I do. That looks horrible. Well, anyways, you can try to tap it out to make the chocolate look a little more streamlined. The drizzle over here is a little crazy. But we can always cover it up with some sprinkles, so let's put some sprinkles on top. And this is just a test, you know, this is just for you guys. I can make some prettier ones for my flash sale tomorrow. But you get the idea. I just like to do a little drizzle running down the sides, and then just fill in the top. But you can decorate it however you like. You can also fill in the back. I mainly just wanted to show you how I do the texture on the sides and then do the little filling lines for like the buttercream filling. So yeah, this guy does not look how I had hoped and intended, but here we are. Let's add a few more on this side to even it out. And there we go. It, you know, it's cute, it's textured, I see it's a birthday cake slice, and I think it does the job. Alright, that's our first class done. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.